Hey guys, this is Brian and Kevin with Inspiring How You See That, and today we got something very special. We've got Concert Cruiser with us. He's in another location. We're collaborating with him, and he's going to tell you about his top 5 most underrated albums. And so we'll go ahead and turn it over to him.
Greetings, nation. This is the Concert Cruiser, and there is no shortage of albums that don't get the respect that they deserve. And I want to share my top 5 with you guys. This is the Concert Cruiser's top 5 most underrated albums. Volume 1. Number 5, Ozzy Osbourne, Scream. As someone who has been to 8 different Ozfests, I can tell you that I have had my fill of Zakk Wylde. I get everyone says that him and Ozzy make a great pair together, but I have just had enough. We're playing a drinking game to how many squealies that Zakk Wylde does on stage. And it was just becoming Zakk Label Society. That's basically all it was when he was playing for Ozzy. And by the time they went to this album, they brought in Gus G from Firewind. And I thought this album sounded fantastic because it pushed Ozzy into progressive metal. It was so refreshing hearing Ozzy backed by something that just wasn't Zakk Wylde. Now, if I had to guess why this album didn't do as well or didn't get the attention that I think it should have, is because this was just only a few years after the incident with Iron Maiden on Ozfest 2005. And while I have my own personal feelings about that, maybe I'll discuss that in a later video, I think people were still bitter towards the Osbournes over that incident. And because of that, I feel like this album didn't get the recognition it should have gotten. So, do give this album a try, especially if you like progressive music.
That was an awesome choice. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, that was a great album. I definitely really liked that album. I mean, of course, many choices from Ozzy's, phenomenal, but I like the song Fearless on that one.
Me too. I think that was probably my favorite on that one. And I have to agree with him. I think it was a little different because Zakk Wylde wasn't involved. So, but it's cool to see, even an artist like Ozzy, who that's big, maybe try something a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So we'll get right into the next one, right?
Yep. We'll turn it over.
Number 4, Powerman 5000, Somewhere on the Other Side of Nowhere. I was someone who grew up in the 90s and heard and got to know Powerman 5000 through their album Night the Stars Revolt. And at the time, they had this really cool spaceman persona that go with their band and their sound, and it was fantastic. And then they were getting ready to make Everyone for Doomsday, and then they decided to not release that album. I think their reason being is because they said it sounded too much like Tonight the Stars Revolt. And then after that, they dropped the spaceman persona and went in this more punk rock style sound, which, to be fair, did sound good, but that's just not what people wanted. And I think I think their star had faded because of that. For whatever reason, they decided to bring that spaceman persona back, which is good because you're called Powerman 5000, okay? Everyone's going to be expecting a level of sci-fi to you guys. So with that, they brought it back, and this album sounds great. You have that digital synthesizer sound, you have the spaceman persona, and it has some really good rocking tracks on here. They don't even just sing about sci-fi. They do sing about other topics and other subjects, and they even have different spacesuits. The songs are catchy, they're heavy. It's the old Powerman 5000 that everyone knew. When people see this video, they'll get the idea to go and check this album out.
Number 4 was a great selection too as well. A Concert Cruiser is definitely right within the Powerman 5000.
Yep.
I mean, like he had said, they put on some crazy, masks and other stuff, and their band members dress all up. So I mean, it's a great show.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an underrated album. But it's taking off now. I mean, that album was produced years ago,
yep,
and it's starting to take off more. What song do you really like?
Well, I find interesting, and I agree with them that as an album, it's very underrated. But it has Supervillain, which of course is a huge hit. So I mean, I think that talks a lot about Powerman 5000, or even their underrated album still has a hit that's massive. So
it definitely is, and it's on a lot of gaming stuff and a lot of movies. I mean, it's definitely a great album. So we're gonna get on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Number 3, Linkin Park's The Hunting Party. I absolutely loved this album. After some weird albums from Linkin Park, not bad, just odd, it was good to hear Linkin Park do something heavy again. Now, granted, it's not the nu metal sound, and I think that's why this album went unnoticed. I think fans wanted the nu metal style of Linkin Park back. And while this isn't it, matter of fact, I feel like Joe Hahn is barely on this thing, it was still at least good to hear Linkin Park doing hard music again. And not only that, but there's even guitar solos on here. Way better than the ones that were featured on Minutes to Midnight. And we still got some great rhymes from Mike Shinoda. We have real drums. Okay, not a drum machine. There are real drums on this thing. And some sick bass playing too. While I get it's not the nu metal sound, I would have preferred that, but at least we got Linkin Park doing something heavy again.
So that's a great choice for number 3 with Linkin Park and the Hunting Party. That was a fantastic album. What'd you think?
I really like that album. I mean, it's definitely a different mixture with Mike Shinoda and kind of putting some of his work more into it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think you can see it a lot on Until It's Gone, which is probably my favorite song on the album.
Mm-hmm. Definitely like that one, so I'm curious to see what the next one is.
Yeah, let's see what his runner-up on his list is.
Definitely. Let's move to it.
Let's do it.
Number 2, Limp Bizkit's Gold Cobra. It's actually interesting hearing Limp Bizkit again. Now that the hate wave for Limp Bizkit has, for the most part, died, it's actually a different listening experience when you hear Limp Bizkit without all those people screaming at you for how bad this band is. Because the truth is, they're not. They're not a bad band, and Fred Durst is not bad either. And because you're not surrounded by that hate wave, you can actually hear this with a fresh set of ears, and after listening to this, it's clear there's more to them than just the chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. So, some of my personal tracks on here are Gold Cobra, Shark Attack, Get a Life, and Why Try. This is solid nu metal material. But if I had to guess why this album went unnoticed, I think it's because Limp Bizkit had such a long hiatus that fans forgot about them. And by the time they came back, I think Limp Bizkit figured they could just pick up where they left off. But no, you kind of have to grow back into that. But hopefully they will, because they seem to be headlining a bunch of music festivals this year, including one that I'm going to, the Rebel Rock Festival. And I hope they do material from this. Limp Bizkit should not be a nostalgia band. They are a great band, and when you hear this without the hate mob surrounding you, you may notice that perhaps people were being too hard on them.
All right, so we're up to the last 2 on the Concert Cruisers choices, and we like Limp Bizkit as well too.
Yep.
It's Gold Cobra was his number 2 choice.
Yep.
And I tell you, that's a pretty unique cover on that.
Oh yeah. That song "Loser's" a really good one. I've been a big fan of that, and so I'm really excited to see what Concert Cruiser has chosen as his number 1 underrated album.
Yep, and we're going to be getting right to that right after this.
Yep, let's go.
Let's go.
Number 1, Korn's Untitled. I was surprised to find out that a lot of fans didn't like this album. That surprised me because, frankly, I thought this album was great. It sounds similar to their previous album, See You on the Other Side. However, this is a bit heavier and somewhat darker. You remember Jonathan had that near fatal incident that happened. I'm not quite sure what it was. And the first song on here, Come Take Me, was about him saying, look, you keep putting me through this, just take me already. And not to mention they have a song on here called Killing, and they almost go full on death metal for that song. I never thought I'd hear Jonathan Davis from Korn turn to George Corpse Grinder Fisher from Cannibal Corpse. And not only that, but Terry Bozzio is on drums, and he even has a drum solo in the very last song, I Will Protect You. And it sounds fantastic. I don't get why fans didn't like this album. It's certainly memorable. I can recall songs on here way better than I can with a Paradigm Shift. If you like music that's digital but still heavy, give this another shot. This thing should have gotten a lot more attention than it did. This is the Concert Cruiser, signing off.
That was a heck of a choice for his number 1. Of course, we're big fans of Korn. I love Brian Head Wells, so that was exciting to see him choose their Untitled album as his number 1 underrated album.
Yeah. Korn's a very unique band.
Yep.
And they always, Jonathan Davis and even all the other members, like you said, Brian Headwalch and all the guys in Korn, they always find a way to kind of mix it up every once in a while.
Keep it fresh.
And what's cool about this album is Jonathan Davis played a little bit of drums on it too.
Yep.
So kind of mix it up a little bit. So was there any songs on that one you liked?
I'd say great album. Probably Starting Over comes to mind.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a lot of top numbers on that one. There's definitely a lot of good songs on there, and a number of them were played on the the iTunes and
Spotify and all that.
Spotify. So it's definitely a great album.
Sure,
but it's definitely underrated. So Concert Cruisers got a key niche there on some of the underrated albums.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to maybe we can dig up some VARs or maybe collaborate again and see what else he has. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be great. And we want to thank Concert Cruiser for collaborating with us on this video, and we look forward to collaborating with other YouTubers and working with Concert Cruiser again. Of course, we'll put all his links down below. Make sure that you go check out his channel, subscribe. He's got a lot of awesome content out there, and we're really looking forward to spending some time with him. Hopefully we can get together in person.
Yeah, that's what we always enjoy more or less, is getting together in person, but we wanted to kind of work this one together, and we've been in the talks for a while about doing something together, so we kind of blended this one and put it together.
Absolutely. And if you're a YouTuber and you'd be interested in getting together, we'd love to hear from you. Or if you have suggestions of a YouTuber that you'd love to see us collaborate with, let us know. We're always interested in ideas that you guys have.
Yep. So, until next time.
We love you guys. God bless. And rock on.
See you then.